Welcome to the FSC podcast. Here's Avery, PJ, and Nick.
The league office is now in session. Hello, everyone. My name's Avery. I'm joined by my fellow front office members, Nick and PJ, and our friend of the pod, Matt the Hat, is still here somehow. We almost kicked him off pre-show, but he actually is going to be on this recording. That may be good, or it may be just a lot more work for producer Reek to do in the editing room. This is the Fantasy Sports Concierge podcast. We're going to talk sports, fantasy sports, league management, whatever else we get distracted by. And today we're going to talk about our way too early 2026 top 5 positional rankings at quarterback, running back, wide receiver. PJ's going to give us his quarterbacks. Nick's going to give us his running backs. I'm going to do wide receivers. But first, we're going to do a little bit of news. Unfortunately, I couldn't avoid having us talk about the Knicks winning the championship. PJ, go. Give me some Knicks points.
It's impressive what they did. You know, I think really the biggest shout out should go to Leon Rose, who I think officially took the top spot as best executive in the league. I mean, if we go back to 2022, signing Brunson, you know, where everyone was kind of giving him a hard time about that. A lot of doubts were there. But that started the construction of this team that was able to pretty much dominate through the playoffs this year. You know, and their resilience was historic as well. I mean, that defining moment in Game 4 where they erased a 29-point deficit, largest comeback in NBA Finals history. I mean, that was impressive. And then, you know, for the remaining games, you know, they were always down 15 points, but you always felt, you know, they're probably coming back. You know, they would go on maybe even a short run, and you just kind of knew that this was inevitable. But overall, I mean, just a dominant playoff run. You know, they lost those first 2 games in Atlanta, and then they didn't look back. So, I mean, sweeping the Cleveland Cavaliers through the conference finals gave them a significant amount of momentum going into the championships. It's going into the finals. So, I hate saying it, but overall, it was a very impressive thing. You know, I wish the Sixers had something
Had
like
actual
this
good
going
leadership.
for
I
them.
got the
you
only
know?
thing that you're totally right. I'm a Sixers fan, so whatever. But I gotta say, Sam Presti is the best GM in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't know that you can.
I'm
you
sure,
can have,
like, he deserves some kudos and everything. Like, I agree, he was getting shit on a little bit back in the day, and he kind of has been proven right. But Sam Presti is still like pretty
Well, I
far.
think that just the risks that he took, I mean, even that Mikal Bridges trade where they gave up a ton of draft capital, and it was more so a trade that he could see beyond just the stats. He saw that it was the cohesiveness that he could bring to the team with the construction of the Nova Knicks, and that was the whole idea. I think it was genius. I mean, it ended a 53-year finals drought, and it was constructively built.
Is it genius
And
if he kind of just cribbed off of what Jay Wright did, right? I mean, he essentially stole a team that was already constructed and proved that it could win 2 championships, and then just did the same thing. Like, I guess it takes guts to
it does take
to
guts.
do that, to make the decision, but he did kind of just copy off somebody else. I would put Brad Stevens and Sam
Well,
Presti over him.
you also had throw OG in there, and then Karl Anthony Towns. That's Karl
Nah, he
Anthony
did his thing.
Towns
He's
is
straight.
what
Yeah, but
solidified that paint
ultimately,
game for
who
them.
did that? Who did that for
World
them?
Wide West did it.
Jalen Brunson did it by taking the deal that he took. If he didn't,
Yeah,
if he
that
doesn't
also
take that
helped.
deal, that team isn't
Right.
put together.
He had to do player management to get him to take the deal.
You
I
don't
guess.
think Jalen had confidence in what Leon was doing? And
Yeah, he had to convince him the same way that
Exactly.
when Maxey waited to sign his max so the Sixers could sign Paul George, which didn't work out, but was something that everybody was excited for at the time. That took, you know, some level of ability as a GM executive to
Yeah,
convince the
but
player to
no
have faith in him.
player who is deserving of a max contract, right? Who has a max contract at their hands and they could take it, has taken a pay cut like that. You
Since Tim
think about like
Duncan.
the Tom Brady. Yeah, Tim Duncan did it big time to keep that team back together, and they ended up winning one too.
Yeah.
But that team was already well established. That team he already won a bunch of championships with, and he just wanted to help it, you know, keep the ride together. Jalen on this one was like, "Hey, I'm going to take a huge pay cut and let's just build out a roster." You know,
Now it's a pay
It's-
increase.
Yeah, now he's a legend in New York, so I'd like to think that he's gonna make a lot, but he'll never have to pay for a meal again in his
I mean,
life.
he could be a billionaire probably by the time he would like in
Yeah, it
his
was an
retirement with all
unbelievable
the
investment.
opportunities he's gonna have. Think of all the movie deals that he could just have. I mean, all those producers and stuff were just sitting courtside. He can get on any late night show he wants, whenever, to promote anything that he wants to promote. Like he's made forever.
I think incredibly impressive.
You know who didn't take those deals? LeBron.
Well, Jordan never took a pay cut.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
LeBron,
he was winning every
is,
championship.
and LeBron is wildly
So
more
why would he?
successful and a significantly better player than Jalen Brunson. LeBron should never take a pay cut.
Right.
Jalen Brunson needs to take a pay cut because he's not that guy like LeBron is. Whereas LeBron doesn't need to do that, and he'll still. I'm not saying saying somebody's not LeBron James is not an insult.
You know what he did this playoffs? He did something that Shea wasn't doing this.
You don't have to convince me.
He took over in the finals. You know what I mean? And Shea had that opportunity this year, and
Shea has done it in the past. It's not like Shea can't do it. I mean, geez, come on. There's been a lot more dumping on Shea than he deserves.
I don't think he's done it
this year.
He never did it on Jalen's level. What we just watched.
He did it well enough to win a championship, which is kind of all that matters.
I mean, look, over the last 2 seasons, they came back down double digits to start the second half 7 times, and no other team has more than 3. And they also had 7 road games that they won this year by double digits. The last time that happened was the 2013.
That's in the playoffs? You're saying in the playoffs, only, or in regular season playoffs?
In the playoffs. In this year's playoffs, they won 7 road games by double digits. The last time that happened was the Heat in 2013. So you got domination on the road, and then you also have a team that found themselves down by double digits 7 times at halftime, and
which is a bad thing, though. Like as dominant as they were, and again, I agree with you guys. Like everything you're saying, totally correct. The Knicks were an amazing season, but also, generally speaking, the best teams don't go down by that much, like at all, in any period of time. So, or at least not as frequently.
No, I'm not saying
to just say that they're
best
just the greatest because they just ran through everything. They didn't technically they won. They did a gentleman's sweep, huge. They did a good job. They stopped Wemby and made him look pretty bad, pretty annoying.
That's another thing. Yeah, I mean, if you look at San Antonio, this wasn't just some team that squeaked through. You know, I mean, they deserve to be there. You know, they beat Oklahoma City. They have such great young talent, and I mean,
they were up 29.
The most important thing though that New York did was they stole those first 2 games. And now you put a young team on the ropes, you have pressure around them. And I mean, that's what led to, the collapse in game 4. So from start to finish, though, it might have been one of the most dominant runs since 2001?
Possibly. I mean, I've actually totally had enough Knicks talk. I'm ready to get to the.
Hold up. Can I just bring up World Wide West really quickly? This guy, he doesn't always show his face in public. He's one of those.
Talking about?
There's this guy, World Wide West. His name's William Wesley. Drake shouted him out in the song. His name, you learn the game from William Wesley. You could never check.
What does he do?
What he does is he goes behind the scenes to struggling families. For example, Derrick Rose. For example, he's friends with Allen Iverson's agent. He is a power broker that is very respected behind the scenes in social circles. He might not be famous. You don't even know about him, Avery, which is pretty telling because you're a huge sports fan.
He's not supposed to.
Dude, it's just amazing how this guy finds a way for people to succeed and no one knows about him. And
why is he relevant to the Knicks?
Because he is the president of the Knicks. He's like the assistant president. It's amazing how World Wide West, and he was a sneaker. He was a sneaker salesman when he was younger. So what he would do is he would go to all the young athletes and get them sneakers and really help families that were in need. And then next thing you know, him and Coach Calipari had a relationship. This guy is getting shouted out by Jay-Z in songs. Shout out to World Wide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess. This guy, World Wide West, is probably one of the most important reasons the Knicks won the title because he's just an extremely smart guy. But he keeps a low profile.
How long has he been there for?
A couple years. It's just
he came in with Rose. Did he come in with Rose?
This is the guy who got DeJuan Wagner
Yes. See what I'm saying? Like, you don't know about him, but if you could see
he's
everything,
like a Sonny, what's his name? Sonny Vaccaro.
yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Behind the scenes, man, Worldwide West is everywhere, man. There's a million conspiracies about this guy. It's amazing.
We don't need to hear those. So we've heard enough about the Knicks now. Let's go to the top 5 positional rankings. I appreciate that was a good shout out. I appreciate that. But I also it's hurting me too much as a Sixers fan. No offense to New York people. Actually, I don't know. A lot of New York people annoy me anyway, so kind of a little.
We got them next year. We got them next year.
Hopefully they come to regular season games next year.
Yeah. PJ and Nick have Sixers season tickets. Buy their tickets for way more than they're worth, New York fans, please. Thank you. And then on to our way too early 2026 top 5 positional rankings before training camp, because there's going to be injuries. You know, there's going to be some guys are going to get outplayed. Ideally, probably not any of these guys because they're in the top 5, but there could be injuries. There could be a multitude of things that could happen. But we're going to give our top 5s and comment on each other's. Mine is going to be the most correct, but everybody else is also going to have some good things to say. PJ started off. Give us your top 5. We're going to start at 1 and then go to 5.
Well, one's going to be Josh Allen. You know, the front office gets him as primary receiver, which is a good sign. You know, the last time that he had a top wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, I mean, he had 3 35 touchdown seasons out of the 4 years he was there. So DJ should provide that for him. Also an incredible upgrade at defense for them this year as well, bringing in Bradley Chubb. And, you know, they kind of secured up that offensive line with Cushenberry and Austin Corbett. I mean, what else is there really to say about this guy? You know, I mean, he's been one of the top guys for the last, you know, pretty much for the last 6, 7, 8 years, it seems like.
Freak of nature. Freak of nature.
Only quarterback in NFL history with 6 consecutive seasons of at least 40 total touchdowns. And the reason he got that from 2025, he had 39, but he had 39 total rushing and passing combined, but he had 1 receiving touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, and over the last 5 seasons, this guy's 640 yards per season rushing with 10.8 rushing touchdowns per season. I mean, that's better than Lamar Jackson, you know.
And he plays all the games.
Yeah, and incredibly efficient as well. I mean, 69.4% in his passes. He averages 8 yards per attempt, 102.2 passer rating. I mean, the list goes on with this guy. The list goes on.
I think we're all in agreement on Josh.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I mean, I don't really see. I think there is a good separation between 1 and 2 with Josh Allen.
The thing that really is more important, though, relative to fantasy is, should you spend a first round pick on Josh Allen? No. Should you spend like $60 of your, and this is as somebody who's paid up for Josh Allen last year in my auction league, and I made the playoffs, but I didn't win the championship. Don't like splurge for the best quarterback. Like, you shouldn't. Somebody's gonna do it in your league, but like, it sets you up. It's much the difference between Josh Allen and number 2 and number 5 or whatever, points per week wise, is not as big as the difference between the top tier of running backs and top tier wide receivers and the second tier. Like, would any of you guys actually draft him? Like, if you had the 1 pick 1, draft Josh Allen?
No.
And he scores the most points. Like, he scored the most points, like, of any player. It's just,
yeah, but now 2 quarterback league, you can consider
it's a
that.
different story.
Yeah, in a 2 quarterback league where quarterbacks are at a premium, it's a different story. That might actually be a little bit worth it. Still probably
because
better.
There's a gap.
Because
there's definitely a gap.
It's 1 point per game, Avery. You're right. It's 1 point per game is what your draft. When you draft a QB that high, it's 1 point per game. To your point.
Yeah, you're not. You definitely would rather have a top running back and a medium quarterback than a top quarterback and a medium running back.
Drake May, 21 points a game. Josh Allen, 22 points a game. Matt Stafford, 21.
And Drake May was drafted late. Like,
exactly.
Drake, you could get quarterbacks like that. There'd be just going to be some guys every year that break out.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's your good point in the Avery fun zone?
And not as good as the Weston Wilson point. I didn't even know who that guy was. Just enlightening the world
Weston
about
Wilson,
somebody who
man,
needs
he's the guy, right?
Who's your number 2, PJ?
Well, I think, you know, it was a good segue there. I think Drake May's number 2 for me this year. You know, and this season I can actually base that off of hard facts with Drake May, you know, not projection, like, you know, going into his second year. But You know, to me, he's proven to be an elite quarterback. 4,400 yards, 31 touchdowns. Underrated running game with him as well. 450 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he gets A.J. Brown this year, who is fully committed to actually playing for this team this year. So, of course, you know, we remember the A.J. Brown who was fully committed with the Eagles. He was an absolute stud. That addition alone, to me, overcompensates for the strength of schedule changes. For one reason alone, the Patriots finished in the bottom of the half last year in red zone touchdown rate, 57% actually, where the Birds led at 71%. Of course, the majority of those touchdowns for the Birds were rushing, but New England ranks 8th in passing attempts in the red zone, 72 last year. 43% of those red zone passing attempts were converted to touchdowns. AJ is going to help them convert even more through the air in the red zone. But my biggest...
Better than Joe Burrow, though? Better than Joe Burrow? Not talent-wise, talent-wise.
Joe Burrow was hurt last year. You think he's better than Joe Burrow talent-wise? Well, I got to disagree with
No,
that
he's
one.
saying he's not better talent.
No, in terms of with the opportunity that he has in the red zone, they throw the ball a lot. And then here's a big fantasy takeaway between him and Joe Burrow is, and now I know Joe Burrow had a short season last year, but Drake May led the NFL in EPA per pass last year, 0.29. EPA's expected points added, but that's elite territory and a strong indicator that his pass and touchdown production is going to continue to rise in 2026.
And they got AJ.
I gotta say, the reason I don't have him in my top 5 is their schedule's going to get tough. Last year, they had one of the easiest schedules in the history of the NFL. That's not happening again. Now they're going to have one of the harder ones. And he's not going to, he was the most, to what you're saying about EPA, he was the most efficient deep passer in the NFL last year by a pretty good margin. And not only was he like the most accurate in that way, but he threw the ball deep the most time. Like, he was the most frequent and the most accurate, which is like,
yes.
Is he going to do that again? No. Like, not because I don't think he's good. Like, I think he's good, but he's not. Josh Allen doesn't do that. You know what I mean? Like you're saying that he's going to be one of the historically, you're not saying this, but like, to think that he's going to repeat that against stronger defenses and such a stronger schedule means that we would have to think that he's going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of football, which
with the year of film against them.
Well, I think that if we're looking at the other quarterbacks that, maybe you guys would put in front of him, I mean, isn't that same for every player that they're going to have? I think so. I think that Drake May has completely shown to us that he's on that top tier quarterback list.
I'm putting him in second tier. I think there's a tier above him. I think he's at the top of the second tier.
I'm not buying him that high again this year.
I think if last year his schedule was average,
and he had a historically
easy. Like that's the thing that I'm like, look, that's not happening again.
Yeah,
that's a very, like, I think if you give all of the quarterbacks
and historically bad season with no film against you. You know what I mean? Like, put both of those things together. I mean, you saw people like CJ Stroud take that step back. You know what I mean? Like, those are the people that people raved about for a while, but it usually come down to earth a little bit, right?
I don't think so.
You don't think
it's coming down to earth.
No regression.
Here's the big question: what happens when AJ doesn't get his touches?
Right. I think that
what happens when they're this year? That's not going to happen this year.
You're right. Maybe not.
What makes you think a team that throws the ball as much as the Patriots do wouldn't throw the ball to AJ Brown?
What was our record the first couple of weeks of last year? The Eagles, they were what, 4-0 or to start the year, and he was complaining. And then they lost 2 games
because he wasn't getting touches. We were able to win on the ground.
He got all the touches.
New England wins through the air.
New England is not always. I mean, no, we're not. They're a run team.
They're relatively balanced, I think, team.
Yeah,
we have to look up the New England stats.
They're definitely balanced. You got Henderson and what's his name, Stevenson, that are definitely getting touches. They're getting touches in the passing game, and they also spread the ball around. I mean, like,
show us what we got here, Avery.
Let's see.
I was with Matt on the Joe Burrow. Hopefully he's next on your list. Because he's got the easiest schedule in the league.
Yeah. And the Pats are 6, so.
Yes, I do have Joe Burrow.
Good.
At 3.
All right, I'm happy that you have Joe Burrow in there. What were theirs? Okay, so they were 52% pass, 48% run. So it was relatively even. I mean, they're not a crazy passing team.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're just winging it around all the time. They're not the Saints or something.
To me, it's pretty insane.
And then what percentage of
that him bringing in AJ Brown kind of changes the whole dynamic there for them as well.
I think that's a fair point. Like they improved at receiver. That's without question. But
a major improvement. You brought in. It's like
well,
as big as Terrell Owens coming into the Eagles.
I don't. You're saying it is that big?
I think it is, dude, because you went from a team that was always knocking on the door, which New England was knocking on the door last year. They didn't have a great support group for their quarterback who was
Stephon
out
Diggs
there.
was very good, I think, for last year. I don't know. I think the difference between Stephon Diggs and AJ Brown is not the difference between like Todd Pinkston and T.O. That sounds wild to me.
I don't know.
Am I crazy, guys?
Totally changes.
And the Eagles went to 3 NFC championship games before they got T.O., right?
Yeah, the Patriots just went to the Super Bowl.
What?
And the Patriots just went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but New England, that was off the easiest schedule, and that was 1 year of doing it.
But PJ's point is
damned up on an easy schedule here.
PJ's point is he doesn't care about
You're acting like they were playing like fucking Kennesaw State over here.
They were relative to the rest of the NFL. I mean,
what were the Jets twice last year? Or the Dolphins twice?
They were like Appalachian State now.
Yeah,
Appalachians.
I mean, like they were like two historically bad teams.
Quit in like week 3, dude. That's fair though. PJ's point is no regression. Schedule doesn't matter. That's fair. That's a fair. Who do you got next?
I have Joe Burrow with 3.
All right,
to make you guys all fucking happy.
Give us the stats. Tell us, convince us.
I mean, what is there to say though? If this guy stays healthy, he's going to be an MVP candidate. Efficiency is still elite. 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions last year on 100.7 passer rating. Supporting cast is still elite. You got T. Higgins there, of course, Jamar Chase, and then
best receiving core in the NFL.
And they also got Iasovis, who's become a reliable slot option for them. And then of course Yoshavas. And then they reinforced that O-line with Orlando Brown and, re-signed Orlando Brown. Then they brought in Dalton Risner. Defensive upgrades as well, things like that. But CPOE is actual completion percentage minus expected completion percentage. He's at a plus 6%. So for in fantasy terms, I mean, he's able to keep drives alive. He's able to complete tough passes, and he creates more red zone opportunities than most. So, and then, adding Jamar Chase, who I have as my number 1 wide receiver, that doesn't hurt, So, yeah, I mean, it's all about health with him, though.
He has the number 1 completion rate of all time among qualified quarterbacks, 68.5%. He's the man. Recorded in 20.
Stay healthy, man.
Late in 2024, 8 consecutive games with 250 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. That's the longest streak in NFL history. He is a monster. I think
the biggest thing for him is all 5 linemen are returning for the first time in his career now. So,
and they add a Risner who's pretty good.
Yeah, they're gonna give himself a little bit of continuity at that line position. So,
and in reality, sure, they traded for Dexter Lawrence, but their defense is still going to suck. So that's good for him because
it's better.
He's gonna have to throw the ball.
It's better.
It's better, but it's better than like the worst ever. You know what I mean? Like it's better than like maybe they won't be 32nd, maybe they'll be like 27th. Which
they should be better in the interior this year than they have been in a while. So you also brought in Jonathan Allen too, which was
that's 2 good defensive tackles.
Yeah.
Avery, do you think the way that Joe Burrow moves in the pocket is one of the most impressive athletic traits of all time out of any? Do you see a lot of Tony Romo here? Is he better than Lamar in the pocket? Can you talk about the way that Joe Burrow moves in the pocket?
I would say he's Tom Brady-esque in the pocket, right? Like that's his like to be as slow as Joe Burrow is, and like he makes moves that you're like, how did you see that guy? So definitely, yeah, he's definitely got an elite version of that. That's got to be one of the things. I mean, that's why like Jamar Chase probably loves him because he can't run. He can do that, and he's not like wide receivers probably don't like it as much, and then they're never going to say this publicly. Like with Lamar Jackson, because his pocket movement leads to him getting out of the pocket and running. But like Joe Burrow's not going to really take off that often, so it's probably be great as a receiver to be like he'll gain time and then still throw it.
I think one big thing to look at, not just him, but a lot of fantasy quarterbacks, is look at your starting running back, and if he's a pass catcher, like he's got Chase Brown to drop it off to, all those types of things add to his ability in the game of fantasy. You know what I mean? If you have to dump it off to Chase Brown all the time, it may not lead to wins, but it might lead to big. It helps his.
You're getting chunk yardage.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
getting 15 yards sometimes.
You're getting completions and stuff like that, and you have the ability to dump it off to a running back so that he can do a lot more. You know what I mean? I
think so. I think you're right on it. I'm so as much in agreement with your third one as I was in disagreement with your second. Who you got fourth?
Lamar Jackson. Yeah, so I mean, the change is really for Lamar this year is new head coach in there. They're going to bring in this Declan Doyle guy who comes from the Ben Johnson coaching tree. So I think that's something to be excited about for Lamar.
Ben Johnson's got his own tree already.
I know, and I mean, if you kind of look at the way the Bears operated last year, you would think that Lamar would flourish in a system like that. But, I mean, Lamar averaged 8.4 yards per attempt last year, which was better than most pocket passes in the league. A lot of people get on his case about accuracy, but he's still 72.4% on target throw rate. He remains one of the more accurate quarterbacks, even though that completion percentage doesn't, reflect that. It's 63%, but he's also got a 7% touchdown rate. That's pretty, high. I mean, it's gonna show that he's going to continue producing touchdowns. And then, of course, on the ground, I mean, he had a down year last year on the ground, but he still averaged 5.2 yards per carry. I mean, a lot of value in Lamar Jackson. And I think it's going to be.
And he's the highest rated passer of all time. The highest rated passer in NFL history.
There's a big question mark to Lamar, I think, this season. Harbaugh's out. I mean, they ran a system designed their wet. No, I know.
He
but
wasn't,
just in terms
it was
of
Monken who was. Yeah.
I'm just saying in terms of how they built a program designed to run completely around Lamar, and in the way that they ran offenses with Monken and Greg Roman, they were all specific. Lamar's going to have the transition that we're going to see with Jalen Hurts this year, where he's going to have to do things that we probably haven't really seen as much out of him in order to actually perform in the offense that they're bringing over. I mean, I think it's exciting as shit to see if he can do it, but the question is, like, is it going to be the same two tight end sets? It's a Ben Johnson type system.
I agree with
that.
It's
not Todd Monken. It's not Greg Roman. It's totally different.
I agree with that, and I think that part of the thing that like I've read around a lot that they want to sign him to an extension again, and he's kind of slow playing it. So I think maybe he's slow playing it a little bit because it's like, I want to see how you guys treat me first. I want to see if this new group builds around me the way that I think they should, similar to the last one. So I think he also sees like, let's see what this does first before I sign up for another, 4 or 5 year extension or whatever. Because he's going to get paid by whoever, no matter what.
Right.
PJ, who you got at 5?
So this is going to be controversial to a lot of people, but Jalen Hurts, I'm putting at 5. 25 passing touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, 420 rushing yards, 8 rushing touchdowns, 16 red zone touchdowns, passing touchdowns on only 48 attempts. He had a 70.8 completion percentage in the red zone. And the offense still gives him elite goal line touchdown upside. So those numbers are pretty elite regardless of who your offensive coordinator is. And he had a pretty bad one last year in Petula. So this year, a fresh new
definitely.
face, new system, maybe more production from Saquon, no locker room issues on target share. He's got a new number one receiver in Devontae Smith, and you got Mekhi Lemon coming in. And Mekhi Lemon caught 79 of 108 targets last year. He had a converted, he had a 71.4 contested catch rate. I mean, that's outstanding for someone who's 5'11". And then his yards after catch ability at 502 yards after catch in 2025. So I think with, Mannion coming in, I think that, with this new wide receiver group, we're going to see Jalen kind of slinging it a little more downfield. I think we're going to see him that confidence get back into Jalen's arm. I think he's also going to be, less likely to, hold up on certain balls that he throws, not worried about who he's got to get the ball to. I'm very excited for Jalen Hurts this year.
Matt Stafford won MVP last year, 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, 109 passer rating. That's a hot take. Jalen Hurts over Matt Stafford. You might be onto something. Take.
Well, the
season,
consensus amount of people are, Matt Stafford's trajectory down. I mean, I saw him at 19th on some projected quarterback rankings. Now, does that mean people should put some respect on his name? Absolutely, but there's some substance to that. So,
what changed with Stafford? Why is he projected so much lower than his MVP
instead of 41?
Back injury,
age, back injuries, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's
any personnel changes going on here.
I don't think any that were relevant.
Nothing crazy except for what they did on defense. He's going to have an elite defense, so that should help him. Yeah, but I think it's just the age fall off, and no one thinks, like you guys said about Drake May, no one thinks that he could repeat what he did last year. So
I definitely want to. I wish I could go there with you on the Jalen Hurts take. I want him to be a tough. I don't think the tush pushes. I don't think Maine's going to use the tush push as much as they have in the past.
Well, he's still anywhere inside the 5. I mean, he's valuable to them.
Definitely. I mean, he's a great red zone quarterback. Does anybody have any quarterbacks that he missed, or who do you think? Like Matt, who do you think? Who's your top 5 that he missed, or Nick? Who you got?
I got a huge sleeper this year. This is going to be
for top 5.
That
you might want to save that for save it to our sleeper episode if it's not a top 5 guy.
Well, Kyler Murray. There it is, Matt. Matt just said it. I think Kyler Murray has a ceiling of being a top 5. Yeah, he's going with Kevin O'Connell, who's the freaking wizard. He's got Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison. He's got weapons that he hasn't had
Jennings
before.
Just signed there.
He has the ability to run the ball, but more like better than most quarterbacks out there. He's top 5 at doing that when he's on. In terms of fantasy, about winning football games, I think Kyler Murray can have a crazy year. I mean, he could push 3,900 yards. There's no reason he can't do that.
Passing alone. Do you think he'll run again? I mean, I think part of the problem with him also was he stopped running.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same. Then we have to have that same talk about Jalen Hurts, because we remember last year they said one of the things that he said is he didn't want to run the ball as much. I feel like he's on like a year where it's like, dude, you got to start running the ball again in order to be successful. You know what I mean? You can't just have it your way. We got to use the best of your abilities and do it.
Definitely in fantasy, if either of those quarterbacks wants to be top 5, they have to run. They are not
have
Joe
to
Burrow.
run the ball.
So do you think he gets 30 passing touchdowns this year? Because he's never done that before. Yeah.
He's got the weapons. I mean, he's got the weapons to do it. And with Kevin O'Connell,
he had weapons in Arizona too. I mean,
he didn't have nowhere near
Jefferson and Addison. Yeah, I'll give him that.
Juwan
Jennings was really good.
Juwan Jennings in an interview said that he felt like KD joining the Warriors, which is I want to focus on he said he felt like KD joining the Warriors with the things around him. I don't that makes any sense of that comment. Is like, yes, Justin Jefferson can be Steph Curry. None of those other players match up with anybody on the Vikings. Who's Draymond Green? Let's move on to Nick on your running backs. Give us your top 5 running backs, starting with number 1.
All right. Number 1 this year, I'm going with Bijan. Last year he had 4.8 yards per carry, and 8.7 yards per reception. He had 81 red zone targets last year. I'm sorry. Of the 81 red zone targets last year that the Falcons had, Bijan had 59% of them. And he had 25% of the overall team red zone targets. He led the team in that stat. They lost Algier this year, who was a big hound for some of those targets. He's one of those guys that you throw in there to pick up the short yards touchdowns, but he's gone now. I think that opens up a lot more opportunity for him. I think just everything goes through Bijan on that offense, and I think he's in for another big time year.
Tua also, if Tua ends up starting or playing a lot, look at his connection with Devin A-Chain, just throwing the ball as quick as he could because he does not want to get hit, and he shouldn't get hit because one more hit, he might not play anymore. So, like, that might help him and get even more passing, some targets his way.
Well, also they brought in a new coaching. They added Kevin Stefanski's now the head coach, and that dude, he's prime Dalvin Cook, prime Nick Chubb. Those guys were, dominant in fantasy. So look for Bijan to get utilized the same way as those guys were.
So much better than.
And they picked up.
Nick brought up a good point though, with how he's now completely taken over the share of that offense. 3 down back now completely, which you kind of saw last year. So this year, I mean, he's going to be their guy no matter what.
Yeah, who's the he was the offensive coordinator for the Steelers last year. Who was the Falcons coach Bijan's rookie year? I forget his name. It might have been Arthur Smith. Yeah,
Arthur Smith was there 2 years ago. He went to Pittsburgh, and then last year
he sucked and he ruined everything for like.
Bijan they were lining up in the pistol formation, and he would start 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
But now, I mean, I think he's going to get so many carries this year. He's going to get 340 plus touches, not just carries, but targets also.
I think in just like the reason I still hold him over Gibbs is because Amon Ra is a big. He's a pure target guy, as opposed to like Drake London is a savage. Don't get me wrong. I think that guy's in for a good year if the quarterback can get it to him. But the offense is run through Bijan. There's no question about it. You're going to have weeks on that Detroit team where the offense is run through Amon Ra. You know what I mean? It's not all Gibbs's game. It's more Amon Ra's game. So like that's the one thing that I think I'd separate the two.
Also, go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, Nick, who's faster, Gibbs or Bijan? And then also, who is quicker? Who's more elusive?
I would say that Gibbs is faster. Bijan's more elusive.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah, Gibbs clocked like 22 miles per hour last year.
I mean, I think they're close in speed. It's not like one's like way better. Like on these, and
Gibbs gets to utilize it a little bit more when he gets those open holes.
I like the way that Bijan cuts though. Like that's his quickness, where like it looks crazy the way that he's like he doesn't really move that fast. Yeah.
Well, just go listen to the clip of Saquon talking about him, and then
Saquon loves the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Saquon's
what's not to love about it?
Gibbs. Mm-hmm. So number 2, you got Gibbs then, Nick?
I don't. I got Jonathan Taylor.
This guy.
It's another team that the offense is ran completely through. That guy, he's gonna get 300 plus carries. He's a big time touchdown guy. He was averaging a touchdown for every 17.9 carries. So I mean, that's a touchdown a game. He had 18 touchdowns last year. And last year, I mean, he only gets stronger throughout the game. Last year was 4 yards a carry in the first half and then 5.9 yards a carry in the second half. That dude wears on teams, and if they can get him going, the idea is to get him going, right? So that your team can have success. And if you could do that, then that's going to be good in fantasy terms too. You know what I mean? They want to get the ball to him. It's another difference that I see in him and Gibbs is that like there's some games where it's going to go the other way. With Jonathan Taylor, it's like run the rock, run it down the throat, wear on teams, give him the ball.
So yeah,
Quentin Nelson too. awesome guard.
Yeah, it's an offense
team
more
All-Pro.
designed around the running back pounding the ball.
So you're saying that Jonathan Taylor, the main reason why is because of how much he's going to get the ball compared to other running backs?
Well, it's not just getting the ball; it's what he does with it when he gets
he's
the ball.
amazing
He
with
was
it.
second in the league last year in broken tackles. When he breaks a tackle, he continues to get more. I mean, yeah, and in today's world, remember we had a long few seasons of this became a passing league, right? And then, you saw teams drafting all these hybrid players and crazy things on defense and stuff like that. And I feel like the world's coming back to like, yo, you got to be able to run the ball. You know what I mean? Those hybrid players aren't
Yeah.
going to be able to take somebody like Jonathan Taylor running into them over and over again. So, yeah, there's a lot more running backs in the league this year that are able to put up some big numbers. I just think Jonathan
Some more
Taylor is
bell
just
cows.
he's just the more, he is definitely the lower floor, I believe. Well, injury aside.
Yeah,
See, I got like Christian McCaffrey over him and Gibbs as well. And it's just, I mean, in terms of touchdowns, I mean, McCaffrey had 17 last year between, receiving, but he also had 100 catches too. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane, So to me, like, I understand where you're coming from, but to me, if like I'm weighing the two options here, definitely close. I love Jonathan Taylor. I had him on my team last year. But that's just where my head's at with it.
Mike Evans joined the club over there at San Francisco. It's just like,
I don't think that CMC. I like CMC. I still don't trust him. He could be healthy for one season. I still think he's gonna get injured again. I don't know
so
why.
can Jonathan Taylor. I mean,
but so can Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, that's true. Because
Right.
I was looking up on Jonathan. I have him third on my list behind Gibbs and Bijan, and he had 378 implied touches. So that's carries and targets. That's top 5 in the NFL. Of course, CMC led the league with like 440 in that stat. But like 440 is crazy. There's no if he's going to get another 129 targets, that's like I don't think that's a good thing for the brand. I don't think they want that necessarily.
Right.
That's not a. And then what's rough though is I was looking at Jonathan Taylor's pass receiving stats, because he's not seen as that kind of guy. That's probably.
But they went up.
He had 55 targets last year.
Yeah,
that's,
they went up.
That's a good amount of targets.
It's not like they have another back in there that's going to spell him or anything like
right.
that.
He's a 3-down back, so even if they don't throw it to him, he's at least in there for whatever.
Which is why, again, big for the Gibbs thing. Gibbs loses Montgomery. Yay, everybody and Pacheco isn't Montgomery. He's coming off that, but that they're going to use two backs. I don't think it's going to be Saquon last year where it was just only him, and Jonathan Taylor where it's just only him. CMC, it's only him. Detroit's going to utilize two backs. I don't think it's just going to be Gibbs the whole time.
Yeah, they probably do want to keep him fresh.
They want to keep.
He's not a goal line guy. Yeah.
For the record, though, about Jonathan Taylor's injury susceptibleness, the last time he played every game in a season, last year he did. The last time he did that was 2021. He had 332 carries and 51 targets. And this past year, when he played every game, he had 323 carries and 55 targets. So after that happened the last time, he was injured for 3 straight seasons. One of those seasons, he still had 1,400 yards. They're still relatively
stud,
because he's a stud. But I just want to throw it out there. I love Jonathan Taylor. He's number 3 on my list. I believe in him. But he's not. Just things can happen.
I mean, I believe in Jonathan Taylor 100%. I just can't put him over McCaffrey though. I mean, because I hear what you're saying too. Like McCaffrey's the same thing though. I mean, he's a 3-down back, and historically they use him in the red zone more than any other running back in the league. So it's to me just those little things.
Yeah, but they just added a serious red zone target.
One of the best red zone weapons in the NFL.
I get you. But historically though, they have been giving it to McCaffrey, not just in San Francisco, but also back in Carolina. I mean,
where did McCaffrey rank when the year that they had Debo and Ayuk going on and all them going off?
I think that's the year he was hurt.
That was the year he got hurt. Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the other things though is that
that's a good thing to look at though. If he were to, but I don't think Mike Evans, is really.
Well, if he's anything,
he's
anything, he's going to be a red zone weapon at least. He might not get 1,000 yards again like he.
It's better than what they had last year. It's much better than they had last year.
Yeah, and last year, a tight end gets hurt for
Ricky Pearsall gets shot.
Yeah, like there are things I think that are going to make it so that they don't have to be as reliant on CMC. Like it's not that I don't think they'll necessarily. It's not like they're going to be like, we don't want to give it to him because he's not talented. It's more like we can't make this one guy shoulder 440 touches again. Like you're not going to be able to do that. It's like Travis.
They got him to the playoffs last year. Maybe not
as far as they usually go.
Right. But you have he's one of the best players in the league. They're of course going to use him a lot more than any other player on that team. He is not losing any type of, target share that he had, in my opinion, off of, Mike Evans coming in.
That's fair. All right, let's go to number 4. Nick, who you got?
Well, it was number 3. It was Gibbs.
Number 3. Gibbs. But yeah, we talked about.
I feel like we've talked about Gibbs enough.
Yeah, Gibbs.
CMC was my 5.
Well, who's 4?
I talked about him the last time. It's my dog, Marion Hampton, baby. He's in line. He's in line for a season, dude.
All right, you have to convince me because I got somebody way above him on my list. You got to convince me of Marion Hampton.
I mean, he's
a great coach.
He's got the coach. He's got the offensive coordinator and Mike McDaniels. He's got 2 returning, I would say top 10 at their position linemen with Alt and Slater.
Was one of them a rookie last year? Was one of them a rookie?
Yeah, but he was incredible. What was his name?
Who? Joe Alt or Rashawn Slater? No.
Joe Alt, the second-year players?
Rashawn Slater? Yeah.
He's one of the best players in the league, one of the best linemen in the league.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and Joe Alt is a savage.
Yeah,
and then they brought in a center, and I mean, like that offense is just going to run through him. And Marion Hampton is another one who's just like Jonathan Taylor, where he breaks tackles. He had I think it was 77 broken tackles last year.
Yeah.
The dude is a freak, and if you could just give him last year when both of those linemen go down, it changes the everything. You know what I mean? It's just
the Chargers season last year was a wreck.
Yeah, he had 33 touchdowns when he was in college. The dude knows how to score. He's going to be Jim Harbaugh is going to put probably 3 tight ends in, and he's going to. That's what he does. Remember the Michigan game, Michigan Penn State. Oh my God, he ran the ball every single play. Like, you know what I mean? If Harbaugh can run the ball, if he can run the ball, he's going to do it.
That was Sherrod Moore though. Because
you're right.
Suspended. Yeah,
you're right.
Well, that guy's not coming out anywhere anytime soon. He's still locked up.
Name drop.
I mean,
I think Marion. That's my sleeper this year,
man.
Or not?
That's a hot take,
dude.
You said you put CMC 5 in a Marion Hampton 4.
This is my thought. Listen, this is my strategy.
Yeah, let's hear it.
We have offenses.
My Drake May thing doesn't seem so crazy now.
Yeah, I think you're totally right now winning craziest take of this pod.
We have offenses. That are designed to run the ball. These offenses are all designed to go through their running back. The Falcons go through Bijan. The Colts, they go through Jonathan Taylor. And this year, you're going to see the Chargers are going to go through Marion Hampton. Everybody loves Justin Herbert, but the passing game, they don't have the weapons like that to really do that. They're going to have to rely a ton. And how Ladd McConkey gets open is off of the play action. That's when Marion Hampton's going to open up for them.
Quentin Johnson.
Q rested his career a little bit last year.
Yeah, for sure. But it's going to come off of Marion Hampton.
And I mean, do you think he's going to get
that type of back?
Do you think he's going to get over 400 touches?
400, I wouldn't say. No, 400's. I mean, it's a lot of touches.
Dude, they gotta feed
He's got-
Gadsden, bro. Is their new tight end. He broke out last year. Like, I just don't think there's
Gadsden's a
enough
beast.
touches to go. I don't think that
Yeah.
offense is gonna run
They
enough plays.
They also have
and,
Njoku. They're gonna have Gadsden and Njoku
Mhm.
on the line at the same time.
So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I think I don't dislike Hampton. Like, I'm not, I think I'm pretty neutral on him. I definitely don't have him in my top 5, maybe my top 10, probably still not. But like, I think the reason for that is because the Chargers offense is not fat. Like, they don't run a crazy tempo, and they're not going to run a ton of plays, and there's a lot of mouths to feed, and I just think that he's not going to get the
Mike
touches
McDaniels
necessary.
is there now.
Does he run a faster,
He runs a wild.
significantly fast? Harbaugh, though,
running backs
Harbaugh's
under Mike
game is
McDaniels have
grinded
success,
out.
no?
That's
You
true.
mix
No,
Mike
that's true.
McDaniels and Harbaugh together, and you'd like to think that the running back, and they got the running. Amari Hampton is the prototype running back that you want in that offense.
But you put him over CMC, bro. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's not great.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
he's great,
you put him
yeah.
over CMC. Like, CMC is a legendary fantasy football player.
I can't
even with
put
his
him
injuries.
over like
But no,
even
that's-
the likes
I mean,
of James Cook. I can't put him over James Cook.
I wouldn't. But I mean, hey, we got to go hot. It would be boring if we
Yeah.
just all said the same 5 guys.
Yeah,
so I
what say,
respect.
the
I
chalk the
respect the.
entire time?
And also, I can't. I might top you right now. I actually have CMC.
Listen,
not
how
in my
many
top
people
5.
drafted Justin Jefferson last year? How many people drafted CD
No, yeah,
Lamb
you're right.
last year?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it doesn't
I
work
did.
like that. You know what I mean?
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Right.
people got to mix it up. Like, you could be right, and and I'm gonna say right now, I don't have CMC in my top 5, and I have Chase Brown number 4. So like, I don't even know if I can talk so much.
Wow.
I'm higher on Chase Brown than you are on Omarion Hampton.
Well, in PPR, it's not a terrible thing.
Omarion Hampton's vertical leap is 38
That's
inches.
surprising. Wow. Usually,
And he runs a 4.46 at
That's
220
impressive.
pounds.
He's an athlete.
He's a savage. And listen, you didn't get to see the best of them last year because they were all banged up.
Yeah, he was
Their
hurt.
guys went down right away when the season started, and immediately it's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Take
he's on
Lane
the
Johnson
reserve
and my
after
line
week
off the
5.
Eagles this year, and tell me Saquon Barkley is having a good season.
That's fair. All right. And 5 was CMC. I think we all talked about CMC again a lot, like through talking about everybody else. So we get, CMC's good. He might get injured. He's gonna get a lot of touches. He's gonna get a lot of touches.
He'll get
You already
400 again this year.
Freaked me out with the Jonathan Taylor stat.
Oh, he had the last time he got almost the same exact amount of touches. He just kind of
Maybe
went.
we'll check up on him in 3 more years.
Yeah. All right. Off to the wide receivers. I have the wide receivers. I'm going to start with number 1 that I think everybody's going to agree with. I don't think we're going to have to talk about that much. Jamar Chase. Does anybody? Jamar Chase. The average Jamar Chase season in his career right now is 1,367 yards, 153 targets, 104 receptions, 11 touchdowns. He's a red zone beast. Last year, inside the 15 targets, 8 catches, 5 touchdowns. Led the Bengals in every inside the 15 receiving category. Joe Burrow loves to throw in the end zone, in the red zone. Jamar Chase is his number 1 guy. He's played 16 or 17 games, basically a full season, in 4 of his last 5 seasons. And I'm going to be the sucker and say they're finally going to protect Joe Burrow. And hopefully his in-pocket magic works out.
How do you feel about how quick off the line Jamar Chase is? Like, can you talk about how athletic he is? Like, I just feel like it's unbelievable how
it's insane how he matches his quickness with his route running ability. Like, he's definitely the best at getting off the line in the NFL, I think. At least top 5. Like, there's probably other guys who, are up there with him in that tier, but mixing how quick he gets off the line with his route running ability is insane. And I think he's going to be number 1 again this year because Joe Burrow's going to.
One metric here that describes Jamar Chase, that he averages 0.51 points a route.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Like, all right. So there's no disagreement with that one. That one I think was simple enough.
Well, he's not that big.
6'1".
He's really not
you don't
that
have to be
big,
that
though.
big.
Like
He's 6'1". What was his vert?
Oh, he's
What was
6'1".
his? I bet his vert is
6'1",
like
I think.
40 something. Like, he's crazy. He's
6
okay.
feet. Exaggerated.
Yeah, exaggerated by an inch. Every guy does that every so often. I'm gonna go to number 2.
Listed at 6
I'm gonna
feet.
go to number 2, right? Unless anybody wants to argue for somebody else at number 1. Number 2, I don't think might surprise you. I got Justin Jefferson. We talked. There was a Kyler Murray mention, and they said he's gonna. I think Kyler Murray will re-unlock Justin Jefferson. The last time Kyler Murray supported a top 5 wide receiver was in 2021, I believe, with DeAndre Hopkins going off for 160 targets, 115 receptions, 1,400 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns. the average season for Justin Jefferson, so this is a fun thing to do, just like with Jamar Chase, 1,400 yards, 145 targets, 97 receptions, 7 touchdowns. He's never had a consensus even top 10 quarterback. He's got Cousins is the best quarterback he's played with. Darnold was, I mean, maybe Darnold and Cousins, they are pretty close. But either of those guys, they're not Joe Burrow. He hasn't had a guy who that's the reason that he makes the plays work. Justin Jefferson makes the plays work. Last year, he had JJ, he had Wentz, Max Brosman, whoever that is. He's had Josh Dobbs. He's played 16 or 17 games in 5 of his 60 seasons, and Jordan Addison could keep some of the coverage off of him. The only thing that Juwan Jennings got right about his really terrible Golden State comparison is that Justin Jefferson can be the Steph Curry of that, but everything else falls apart.
That's something like a dream team type statement.
It is, but they don't even have anywhere near close enough for players to say that.
Yeah.
The Rams could say that.
They need to get Nnamdi, and then they're the dream team.
Yeah, Nnamdi
and Vince Young. Yeah.
Nnamdi covers probably now just as good as he did back then. All right, so for number 3, I got Puka Nacua. So off-season issues aside, let's assume that he kind of gets his shit together, at least for the sake of the season. He averages 104 receptions, 1,400 yards over his first 3 seasons. He's had 160 targets in 2 of his first 3 seasons. Matt Stafford is a target monster. He just targets 1 or 2 guys all the time. Megatron, he does it. Puka, he does it. Cooper Kupp, he did it. Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown because of Matt Stafford. I would not be surprised if Puka wins the Triple Crown. He blocks like a monster, so he's always on the field. They're not taking him off for anything until 3 times a game, he has a complete disregard for his health and has to get off the field for like 3 or 4 plays. But he finishes it out and he gets his stats. Like Puka Nacua, I wouldn't say he's necessarily on the Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase level yet, but he's like beating down the door. Like one more season of 100 receptions and 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns, and he's there. Like he's as close as a player can get to that tier without being there. And I don't think Devontae's going to take too much from him. He's already proven he can do it with Devontae there. And I mean, Devontae's a year older, so like that's not to say that he's going to fall off the table or anything. But you're a year older, and Puka being a year older gets him closer to his prime rather than being on the back half of that. So
that team runs through Puka.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think.
See, I got to switch the 2 there. I got to switch Jefferson and Puka.
That's fair.
Me too.
I don't think that's bad.
Yeah.
I had the same thing. I got Puka.
And I think
I honestly think that Jamar Chase and Puka are your tier 1s this year, and then I think it's like a step down from there. I think that those 2 are like my you can't miss with either or. You know what I mean?
That's,
What about Jackson Smith
Puka
and Jigba,
reminds
though?
me.
Like, how you gonna
Puka reminds me of like he's like a more athletic what do you call it? Travis Kelce, where it's like some of these wide receivers, they don't have it's what you're gonna get with Mekhi Lemon this year. I'm not saying Mekhi Lemon's Puka. I'm saying his biggest trait is he understands how to get open in coverages and stuff like that, and sit down and find their openings. They're your choice routes.
Not a burner.
You get to
definitely not a burner.
Yeah, it's the person that understands. You could beat somebody off the line, and Puka's able to use his body to where he could just get in front of people and just sit down in zones, and it's dangerous, man. He just racks them up, target after target.
It's just a guy who gets, he averages 10 receptions a game and 107 yards a game. I mean, he's a sure shot almost out there that he's gonna put up 20 points for you every week.
He's your safety
Matt,
valve,
I think
too.
you were making a point about JSN. What'd you have to say about JSN?
Just that he's definitely in the conversation.
You put him over Puka or Justin Jefferson, or?
I don't know if I have the balls to do it, but like,
I think he deserves to be.
I mean, what more does he need to do? Like, look at his year last year. I mean,
it's
the only thing I'm worried about with JSN is he lost Kubiak. Like the coordinator who did all of that is now the head coach of the Raiders. So like, not to say that he couldn't be OC proof, but we've seen that some guys are not OC proof, and like it's not always OC proof. And their head coach is a defensive coach, so.
And he's a downfield guy
too.
He's 15 yards a catch. 27, 20 plus receptions. I mean, he's 20 plus yards, receptions. He's definitely in the conversation. I think Matt
Yeah,
brings up a
totally
great
fair.
point with that. Yeah.
I think the Puka has what I would call a more consistent quarterback than Justin Jefferson or JSN. And Puka has his coach and offensive coordinator. Those are the guys. Like they know what's going on. Whereas we're not sure yet about JSN's OC. So I don't think it's anything to do with JSN. It's more the offense around him. And not that I don't believe in Sam Darnold, because now that he's won a Super Bowl and he's done it 2 years in a row, I'll say he deserves what he's got. But I still don't see him as a guy that I'm like, well, he can really, if you're having a bad game, he's going to make it better for you. I'm not sure he's that guy yet.
His usage last year showed that he's top 3, I would say, though. I mean, he got 36% of his target share.
It's going to continue again this year as well.
Is it though? Like now they have Rashid Shaheed in the offense, who's like, and I forget your boy, the rookie.
He's just your burner.
It doesn't drop below 30%.
I resent when you say just a burner as somebody who was very fast. Like burners are important, Nick. They can get open.
It's important. But we're talking about fantasy.
Sure.
We're talking about.
But he's had.
It's the same reason that you wouldn't bet on Jamison Williams.
Yeah, the number one thing I would say is threatening JSN is the OC change. So yeah, not his
OC,
game.
Yeah.
And then for number 4,
the OC that they're going to bring in is going to, you know what I mean, is going to run the offense through JSN. There's no doubt about that.
It's not even that I'm saying that he won't want to do that. It's more that, like, can he though? I mean, people said there's plenty of OCs who like
he's
just like
Walker.
Patullo couldn't run the offense through AJ Brown, bro. Like, it's possible that they just don't know how to do it. Like, they're not good.
Okay, so maybe Sam Darnold fails the offense. Right.
No, wait, that's not what I said at all. What I
don't
said
think
is
it's JSN. JSN is like Justin Jefferson, is like
I didn't say it was JSN.
They can get open on anybody.
Totally. I'm not saying that. And I think last year AJ Brown could get open on anybody. But Patullo was an impediment to that. Do you disagree?
Yeah.
You do disagree?
Absolutely. No, I agree. No, I agree.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying JSN is doing anything.
No, you're right.
I'm saying, what if a Patullo like OC is I don't know how good he is or not. I'm not saying you will be bad, but I'm saying that's the risk on the table.
Absolutely. But that's also that's a risk. That's absolutely. But that's also like
that's not a risk that Justin Jefferson or Puka Nacua has to deal with.
You're right, and that's why I don't. I wouldn't. Matt said this earlier that he would put him as a guy who could potentially be number 1. I don't see an offensive coordinator coming in here and taking what he did last year and making it even better to pass somebody like Puka or Jamar. It's just like
that's fair.
Right. Top 3, right? Lamar or
I don't
Puka
have him
and Jamar on a different level.
And
Justin Jefferson can get there.
Justin
Jefferson can get there. He can get there. No, he can get there. He's a player.
Justin Jefferson has been there. Like, what are you talking about?
No.
Justin Jefferson. I like Jalen Rager.
Justin Jefferson was first to a bunch of yardage things for first 3 years, first 4 years, first 5 years, all of that stuff.
Yeah, he did.
Justin Jefferson is already in that group. I mean, whether Puka is in it with him and above him by a little bit, Justin Jefferson's there solidly.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, absolutely. If he keeps playing, his stats right now scream first ballot Hall of Famer as long as he keeps playing. I mean, if he got injured right now, depending on what the kind of injury was, probably not, because he hasn't accumulated whatever. But he has over 8,000. He has over 8,000 receiving yards already. But wait, we gotta move on. We can't be here all night. So for number 4,
right? Yeah.
Producer Reek's gonna love this one. I got Emeka Egbuka at number 4. Emeka Egbuka had a historic first 5 games last year out the gate.
What?
It was amazing, and then he got injured. Initial injury, and he pushed through it. He played all the games, but he pushed through it because he didn't want to let his boy Baker down, and I respect the hell out of that. And I think that he's going to continue.
That's a ridiculous thing.
Egbuka, first player in NFL history with 25 receptions, 400 receiving yards, and 5 or more receiving touchdowns in his first 5 career games. One of 4 players over the last 50 years with 20 plus receptions, 300 plus receiving yards, and 5 plus receiving touchdowns through 5 career games, joining Jamar Chase, Roy Williams, throwback, and Randy Moss. Those are numbers and those are people. Okay. That's what he did. Then he got injured. Sure, absolutely. He won't always be injured. Those numbers are the guy numbers. He has Chris Godwin there to take some of the heat off, so he doesn't have to be I don't think you can double him necessarily. Definitely not every play with Godwin in there and being moved around. As a rookie, he posted 127 targets, 9th most in the NFL, 63 receptions, 938 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns, 23.5% target share. That's a great target share. Mike Evans, while he wasn't there the whole year last year because he got hurt, he's out. He's no longer a threat. Also, running back, their backup running back. Why am I forgetting his name?
Rachaad White.
Rachaad White was a target monster. He was the kind of running back who gets targets. He's gone. He's at Washington now. So that's some targets that are there that there's no reason that Emeka Egbuka shouldn't get 150 targets, maybe 160. And Baker loves him. And to people talking about his slot usage, last year had 252 slot snaps, so 28.3%. 71.7% of his snaps came on the outside, the X or the Z. So he can play the X or the Z. He can succeed outside. He can succeed inside. He's going to work well with Baker. He's going to work well with Chris Godwin. Baker Mayfield, I have him as 5th on my top 5. I think if you've listened to our previous episodes, you know I think Baker is going to be a top 5 quarterback this year. This is going to be his top 5 receiver weapon to go to. Bucky Irving is going to take some pressure off on the ground. That guy's a beast. I'm not saying he's going to be top 5 running back. I don't have him in my top 5 there, but he's a top 10 type guy. And I think Emeka Egbuka is going to take advantage of all of that amazingness.
Wow. I think that's a great analysis on a terrible take.
All right, well, tell me why.
I can't put him over Amon-Ra or...
I can't. You made such a good point. I can't. That's a great point.
I believe I will admit that what I'm really putting a lot of this on is those first 5 games. I believe that those first 5 games are
Brown.
Go, dude.
Yes,
Godwin is there. That's targets being taken away.
Godwin was there last year for half the year, right? He was there half.
Wasn't he hurt?
He came back halfway through the season. He played the last 8 games or so.
You got him over CeeDee Lamb too.
Yeah, yes. But you also talked
CeeDee
about
Lamb has George Pickens to contend with.
Who's outside when he's running out of the slot where you said he succeeds the most, right? Because he succeeds.
I did not say he succeeds the most out of the slot. I just said the amount of time.
We talked about that on the last podcast about how well he does out of the slot. That's where a lot of his success came from, was out of the slot.
71% of his snaps were on the outside. He was fine on the outside.
Yeah, but how did he do with those 71% on the outside?
He was the best receiving, or the second best rookie wide receiver to Tet. That's how he did
on the outside.
He had 930 yard receiving. Only 28% of his snaps were on the inside, which means that most of his stats were garnered on the outside. He's 23.5% target share is going to go up. If he gets that to 28, he's well within range to get the 4.
Another good.
Oh, and I just want to say one thing to you, Avery. CeeDee still had a 28% target share, even with Pickens on the field.
Was that his overall target share for the year, or was that his target share for when they were specifically there together?
That was in his healthy games tour in 2025.
I have Emeka Egbuka as better than CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to say
you made some fair points.
I agree that it's something that
it's projection.
It's projection.
But it's a hot take.
I didn't want to say stretch. I'm saying projection. It's a projection. Okay, you guys.
It's a stretch.
What about
Amon-Ra 5th? I'm not that crazy. Amon-Ra's 5th. I felt like Amon-Ra. The reason that I have Amon-Ra 5th is because I don't necessarily believe in the Lions that much in their whole entire offense, and I think they're going to run it a lot more through Gibbs this year and going forward, because he is a monster and he did not get utilized nearly as much as he could last year in his first 3 years of his career. Right. I think Amon-Ra is going to cede some of those. So Amon-Ra led the NFL in red zone targets at 33 and red zone receptions at 20 in 2025. He also was second in the NFL within the 10-yard line in targets, and in catches he was second. Those are both to Devontae Adams within the 10-yard line. So when they get down there, he's the guy. And Montgomery was a goal line back, so he just left. So there are going to be some targets up for grabs in his favorite zone, and he's going to get his, of course. But 1, I believe in Baker over Goff. 2, I think the Lions offense is just not going to be as good as it's going to have some regression a little bit. They had regression last year when they lost Ben Johnson, and those fans were salty about that move. They didn't like their new offensive coordinator. So
but that didn't stop Amon-Ra from producing. I mean, he's had 10+ touchdowns in the last 3 years.
Totally.
With the ups and downs, yeah.
That's why I have him at 5th. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the only guy I think you guys think I was wrong to put ahead of him was Emeka, right? I mean, the other 3 you agree are over Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not dropping him to 20. He's 5th.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Wait, so you have him over JSN?
Yes, I have Amon-Ra over JSN. I would probably put JSN 6th.
What if I bet you $20 and Muka doesn't even, or Emeka doesn't even get in the top 10 in fantasy points?
And fantasy points for wide receivers. All right.
Can we do it? Yeah.
Yeah. Producer Reek. Well, Producer Reek is he'll keep track of that.
Lock it in.
All right. Yeah. Hey, man. I take Venmo or Cash App, either one.
It's going to be just like our Evan Turner bet, and I'm going to win. So that's fine. We're going to go quick through this last topic, and it's going to be a quick topic. I'm going to throw it to Nick at first. Is 2026?
Okay, before I get put on mute again.
It's too late. You're already on mute. We already moved on to the next topic. Is 2026 a terrible rookie class for fantasy? I've read an article in The Athletic that said it is. Before I read that article, Nick told me it was. And in our Dynasty League, where me, Nick, and PJ have our great front office, we traded a good amount of our early draft capital for this round. And I'm not sad about that at all. We got Rashee Rice and good linebacker out of it. So, Nick, tell me, why is the 2026 class of rookies for fantasy bad?
Hold on, my computer's about to die. Move on. Hold on.
All right. Well, I can fill that in anyway because I also think it's terrible. Or PJ, you got any thoughts on that?
Well, definitely the quarterback group is historically bad. I mean, you take a look at what we had last year with Tyler Shaw and Cam Ward and Jackson Dart. I mean, there was pretty competent quarterbacks that came in and were pretty special. So this year, Fernando Mendoza, is not going to even be a guy rostered, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think any rookie quarterbacks should be rostered, and I think only 3 running backs were drafted in the first 2 rounds for the first time ever. The one who was drafted, Love, who kind of matters. Arizona's O-line, ranked 15th by Pro Football Focus, is average at best. He's the next Saquon if he does anything. They have Tyler Algier. They have James Conner. They have Trey Benson. They're going to play the hot hand, apparently, so we're not even sure to get 15, 20 touches a game. And I think a lot of this is because players are staying longer in college because NIL.
Yep.
It's a shallower draft pool. And, I mean, when you look at the top wide receiver and running back rookies, it's Jordan Tyson, injury-prone, fighting a lot of different targets. Jadarian Price, running back 2 among rookies probably, back up in college. Carnell Tate, unproven second-year quarterback. And he has to fight Wando Robinson for targets, and Dabo loves Robinson, apparently.
Mekhi Lemon's in the best position to be the best rookie this year.
There's a lot of wide
receivers. And he starts the season as like
class.
3rd on the tree behind Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert and Dontavian Wicks, who the Eagles signed an extension when they traded for him. Like, they traded a legit pick for him and signed to extension. They think he's good. So, like,
I don't think this class is like absolutely terrible. It's more of just like a victim of 3 straight loaded classes. And then it's preceding a potentially historic 2027 class. Where we might have like 5 first-round.
So now they are victims?
Caliber quarterbacks, and this class reminds me of the 2016 class where they had Derrick Henry, Michael Thomas, Zeke, and then 2 of the bigger names were Dak and Tyreek Hill, but they weren't drafted until the 4th and the 5th round. So like maybe a Drew Aller finds his way, and that's this year's Dak or something like that, or maybe a couple of these wide receivers that were drafted. Maybe one of the Browns' 2 wide receivers that were drafted become a thing. But like as it sits right now, it doesn't look like a very promising draft class. You have Jeremiah Love, which is going to be a top tier running back, obviously. But yeah, it's just nothing compared to the years before. You got how many running backs from last year's draft class are going to be, starting running backs on teams this year? You might only have
Genty
2,
and the Browns, Quinshon Judkins.
Last year you got Genty, Hampton, RJ Harvey, Scatabo, Krosky Merritt, Travion Henderson, Quinshon Dunkins. Yeah, you got them all. You got a ton. That's all the running backs from last year's class. You know what I mean? And you also got people like McMillan, Ibuka, Hunter, Burton, Golden. I mean, they got a lot of wide receivers that are good too.
And if you're still with us, an hour and a half in, producer Reek wants us to wrap it up. I'm going to do him that favor. We appreciate you for listening. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Don't forget, if you need help running your fantasy league, visit fsconcierge.com. Check out our services. Check out all our socials. We're on Facebook. We got a company page, Fantasy Sports Concierge. We're on TikTok. Check out our clips. We're on YouTube for the podcast. Everywhere else you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Deezer is a thing, apparently. The league office is adjourned until next time, and minutes from today's meeting will not be distributed.
Thanks for stopping by. Visit fsconcierge.com.